GHOne OV van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis's state funeral, Miss Africa awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GHOne van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GHOne provides it.
My experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew, ICCU, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter who's in that studio as well and get that running.
To give an experience to our audience, we're also watching on TVs and online. Work with an Exo technology system, which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts. I
prefer the GHOne van to a lot of other vans I've used, or even doing my own setup on a tabletop setup, because on a production you see a number of people in the van, and so if you have a very small van, it means that it's going to be choked, and that will affect the creativity as well. The price has been discounted as well to accommodate varied budgets, and so no matter the budget you have, I understand you can have the track and do business with it.
It looks huge but very affordable. Cost is really affordable. My experience with it, EMI awards last year, super excellent. Try it, call them, and I'm going to give you the best of price. Really affordable. GHOne OV van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis's state funeral, Miss Africa awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GHOne van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GHOne provides it.
My experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew, ICCU, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter who's in that studio as well and get that running.
To give an experience to our audience, we're also watching on TVs and online. Work with an Exo technology system, which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts.
I prefer the GHOne van to a lot of other vans I've used, or even doing my own setup on a tabletop setup, because on a production you see a number of people in the van, and so if you have a very small van, it means that it's going to be choked, and that will affect the creativity as well. The price has been discounted as well to accommodate varied budgets, and so no matter the budget you have, I understand you can have the track and do business with it.
It looks huge but very affordable. Cost is really affordable. My experience with it, EMI awards last year, super excellent. Try it, call them, and I'm going to give you the best of price. Really affordable. GHOne OV van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis's state funeral, Miss Africa awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GHOne van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GHOne provides it.
My experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew, ICC, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter who's in that studio as well and get that running.
To give an experience to our audience who are also watching on TVs and online. Work with an Exo technology system which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts.
I prefer the GHOne van to a lot of other vans I've used, or even doing my own setup on a tabletop setup, because on a production you see a number of people in the van, and so if you have a very small van, it means that it's going to be choked, and that will affect the creativity as well. The price has been discounted as well to accommodate varied budgets, and so no matter the budget you have, I understand you can have the truck and do business with it.
It looks huge but very affordable. Cost is really affordable. My experience with it, EMI awards last year, super excellent. Try it, call them, and I'm going to give you the best of price. Really affordable. GHOne OV van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis's state funeral, Miss Africa awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GHOne van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GHOne provides it. My
experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew, ICC, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter who's in that studio as well and get that running.
To give an experience to our audience who are also watching on TVs and online. Work with an Exo technology system which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts.
I prefer the GHOne van to a lot of other vans I've used, or even doing my own setup on a tabletop setup, because on a production you see a number of people in the van, and so if you have a very small van, it means that it's going to be choked, and that will affect the creativity as well. The price has been discounted as well to accommodate varied budgets, and so no matter the budget you have, I understand you can have the truck and do business with it.
It looks huge but very affordable. Cost is really affordable.
Friday. You're welcome. I love Fridays. I love Fridays for many reasons, and I know that you know one of them is that I get to have a good weekend, and also because, you know, I get to show you guys my lovely prints. So I want to campaign, right, to get people to wear African prints and kaba and slits, because I find it very classy, very lovely, especially young ladies, you know, because for a very long time there are people who think that kaba and slits is for persons who are old, but I'm here to change that narrative, and I am so happy that I'm doing that and rocking it. And these clothes are brought to you kind courtesy Office & Co. By Serwaa Amihere, by the way. So you're welcome to the show. I hope you enjoyed that one, Sikasem by Daddy Lumba. So this morning, you know how we do it on Fridays. Every Friday, the show takes a little bit of a different turn because we don't talk to politicians. It can get really tiring, right? You want to listen to journalists who have been following the issues all week and get their perspective on it. In fact, get the facts as they are. And this week, quite a number of things have happened. The Energy Minister, John Abdullahi Jonapor, has referred the ECG missing containers to the Attorney General. Remember, over the weekend, the Deputy Attorney General with the National Security held a press conference, told us about 14 persons had been arrested in connection with this. Well, finally, the Energy Minister has referred the entire matter to the Attorney General, and so it appears that in the coming days, weeks, months, maybe we'll be seeing some prosecutions or hearing some charges against certain persons. And so there's that. And then there was this allegation by Reverend Intim Fodjo that certain aircraft came into this country in what he suspects to be some shady dealings with regard to them. He said that there could be issues of money laundering, of drugs being brought into the country. Well, the government, led by the government spokesperson, the spokesperson for the president, Felix Kwachiofosu, has refuted these claims and said that these aircrafts came into the country for genuine reasons, and that is the AirMed. And here at GHOne TV, my colleague Joshua Kojo Mensah reached out to AirMed and even got that clarification before yesterday's presser or explainer by the government's spokesperson, Felix Kwachiofosu. And that's not all. Well, I'm sure that you know by now that E-levy, emissions levy, the betting tax and whatnot, they're all gone. Goodbye. So John Dramani Mahama stuck to his promise. He delivered. He said in 90 days, all of these things were going to go, and they are gone. I am getting reports from the MTN CEO that E-levy cannot just go like that, but I have gotten a message. And so this morning, I want you to try to send money to someone. I mean, it doesn't have to be me. You can send maybe 1 cedi, 2 cedi, 10 Ghana cedis, 100 Ghana cedis. I'm actually going to try. Oh, no, actually, last night, I think I did send, do a Momo transaction. So, yeah, I didn't get charged. There was no tax charge. So it was just the regular charge that I paid and no tax charge. So E-levy is gone. And I'm sure that this comes as a relief to many people, because I personally know people who refused to send mobile money because they did not want to pay E-levy charges. Well, we thank God that E-levy is gone. So congratulations to the NDC and John Dramani Mahama. And they will tell you with the hashtag Abba and Papa Abba. Well, we live to see. So there is that as well. And then I'm sure you've seen the latest Global Info Analytics report, which says that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is the reason why the NPP lost the 2024 elections. He's not the only one, but he's the highest. He sits at the top on why the NPP lost the elections. There are other factors. There's NAPO, there is Dr. Baumia as well, and there are quite a number of other things. Let me quickly run them. Okay, so Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo contributed about 68% to the NPP's loss. Ken Ofori-Atta contributed 40%. Dr. Baumia contributed 37%. NAPO contributed 33%. Government appointees contributed about 32%. Members of Parliament contributed 26%, and Kennedy Japan contributed 9% to the NPP's defeat in the 2024 elections. We will discuss all of that, but I want to hear from you, because you know that on Fridays I open the phone lines just to give you the opportunity to call and share your thoughts with me. So please get ready. We'll bring you the quote of the day, we'll bring you the word of the day, Kaiketsi Nurain. We will tell you what happened in court, and we'll have other conversations. Today is Friday. It's a Freestyle Friday. I'll be having a conversation with a gospel artist. You don't want to miss it. And so before I get into the show officially, let me say happy birthday to anyone who is celebrating their birthday. Or, if you are celebrating your birthday as well, a big happy birthday to you. If you know anyone who is celebrating their birthday, to a happy birthday to them. Tomorrow is the birthday of my director, Banini, and he's been disturbing me the whole time about this birthday. But tomorrow we don't have a show, so I want to wish him today. Very troublesome, but very talented young man. Happy birthday to you, Banini. That's all you get, by the way. That's it. A wish. No extra money. Nothing comes with it. You get gift. This is your gift, your birthday wish for, this year. So happy birthday to you, Banini, from all of us. He's a very troublesome young man, but knows his stuff. Anyway, so that's what our show will be looking like today. You're officially welcome. Let's begin with our quote of the day. Today's quote is by Henry David. It reads, "Go confidently in the direction of your dreams." I know sometimes we are unsure. But yeah, please go confidently in the direction of your dreams. You're confident about it, go for it. Let's bring you our quote, our word of the day. Usually, I know that on Fridays we bring you a wrap of the words that we brought you this week. But today, Nurain says no. He has a special word for all of us. So here is our word of the day.
Today's word is petrichor. Petrichor. It's a noun. Petrichor means a pleasant smell that frequently accompanies the first rain after a long period of warm, dry weather. Let's exemplify it. When the rain started, we stepped out just to relish the petrichor. Petrichor.
And so that is our word of the day. I hope that you've learned something new. Please, you need to take these words very seriously because you need to enrich your vocabulary. I always say this. All right, it's now time for Inside Out. Right, so on Inside Out, I'm opening the phone lines. Please call me. Share your thoughts with me on the things that have happened this week in this country. I run you through some of them. The ECG missing containers, the referral by the Energy Minister to the Attorney General. E-levy is gone, emissions levy is gone, betting tax is gone. That comes as a relief to many young Ghanaians. In fact, when it comes to E-levy, it was applicable to all of us, wasn't it? So I am happy that E-levy is gone. We can send, mobile money without all of these E-levy charges. So that's some good news. We also know of that aircraft, the jets that landed in Ghana, which came with a lot of controversy. The minority in Parliament, led by Reverend Intim Mfojo, who is also Member of Parliament for, I think, Asin South, says that he suspects that there were dealings of money laundering, drugs and whatnot be brought into this country. Well, government says that is not the case. Let's listen to Reverend Intim Mfojo first, for those who may not have followed the issue very keenly, and then we will follow it up with government's response to that.
Jet Kavok Air Antonov An-12B also landed at Kotoka International Airport on March 12, 2025, from the same island of Spain, Gran Canaria, and remained in the country for 13 days and departed at 6:40 hours, that is 6:40 a.m. on March 25, 2025 to Gran Canaria. The very day Ahmed flight also departed to Gran Canaria. While it is intriguing that the two suspicious flights would depart to the same location on the same day, even more intriguing is the cargo suspiciously transported by these aircrafts to and from Gran Canaria, an island known for its notoriety in drug trafficking, money laundering, among others. We call on national security to make full disclosure of the content of the cargo carried by these two aircraft into the country, as well as the cargo carried out of the country by the same aircrafts to Gran Canaria, consistent with the principle of transparency in our collective quest to fighting drug trafficking and money laundering. Consistent with transparency demonstrated to the general public by the security agencies, as evident in the media reportage carried on March 4th, 2025, when National Investigations Bureau, NIB, intercepted $350 million worth of cocaine in Cape Coast. It is the expectation of the Minority Caucus that transparency in such critical matters of airspace security is upheld in order to assure our citizens of the continued security of our airspace. The Minority Caucus is concerned about the sudden incidence of drug trafficking and money laundering rearing its ugly head in the country barely 3 months after the NPP government handed over power to the ND.
In the last few days, the disinformation machine of the new Patriotic Party has been ratcheted up, and they've taken it a notch higher. This time, Reverend Intim Mfojo, who also doubles as the Member of Parliament for the good people of Asin South, has made very wild claims to the effect that two aircrafts which passed through Ghana for various reasons were carrying drugs, and that was the reason why they were here. He also alleged that they were involved in money laundering, and therefore he was calling for investigations. As you may be aware, President Mahama gave him the opportunity to present any evidence or any basis he has for making that claim to the security services, so that together we could look into the matter to ascertain whether there was any truth in it. I can report to you that because he knew he was peddling total falsehoods and lies, he now claims, after being invited to assist with investigations, that he was speaking on behalf of the committee that he was part of, and that the views he expressed were not his personal views. So because of that, he says he's unable to cooperate with the security agencies. I say that he was peddling falsehood because the facts as they exist vary completely from the claims that he made. When he made that claim, he was only seeking to peddle falsehood in a bid to undermine the confidence that the people of Ghana have in this government. The truth is that two aircrafts with completely different purposes arrived in Ghana, and their arrival was perfectly legitimate, and they were here for very genuine reasons. The first one is an Antonov flight 12BK with registration number CVK 7037. Now this flight essentially is a cargo plane which arrived on the 12th of March 2025. Now no plane arrives in Ghana without a landing permit. So this plane secured a landing permit with number GAF/TMAO/25/7863. Now the purpose for arriving in Ghana was what we call a technical stop. Essentially, this is a cargo flight that was destined for the European Union market.
Right, so you heard it, Reverend Itim Fojo and Felix Kwachiofosu going against each other. Well, after that statement or that explainer by Felix, Reverend Itim Fojo has come back to say that contrary to what Felix is saying, no one has actually invited him to assist in any investigation. So it appears to be, very interesting times ahead. And I'm here to see how it all plays out. We've opened the phone lines now. Please call and share your thoughts with us. Please, when you call, I know that it's nice to hear yourself, but kindly reduce the volume on your TV set, else I cannot hear you. And the viewers at home cannot hear you as well. And let's exercise, some decorum. Some of you call. I know some things are very annoying, like the ECG matter, for instance. But please, no insults. If you try to insult anybody, I'll just drop the line, so that we can have more, decorum conversation. So the phone lines are being opened now. Please call me. Share your thoughts with me. Earlier this week, also, the Energy Minister, John Abdullahi Janapo, spoke with my colleague, Lily Mohammed, here on the morning show. And we'll bring you a set of that, if that's ready. And many other things. E-levy is gone, like I said. If you doubt it, you can try to send mobile money to check if you'll be deducted of any e-levy charges. I tried and I didn't get any e-levy charges, so I can tell you that truly e-levy is gone. I've got my first caller, Alaji from Sablugu. Alaji, good morning. Thank you so much for calling.
Hi, beautiful Serwaa. How are you?
I'm doing well, Alaji. Let's go. What's up?
I hope everything is well.
Yes, by God's grace. Alaji, make your submission very short today, okay?
Oh, Serwaa. Look, I'll make it very short. Let me send my greeting for 2005. And just when you listen to Reverend Itim Fojo, I think we need to arrest him. Because we come and make this one allegation in this country and we don't have any evidence to prove. If you just holding the press conference, say anything you want to say. What kind of attitude is that? We defeated you people in 2024 election, and you don't have any message to give to your people. Just tell the people through in this country. NDC is not like NPC government. And they will come and quickly looting and share it for themselves. And you come out to punish the country in it. This thing will require it. We will not require it. We need to arrest him. If you can't substantiate this allegation and he makes in this country, you need to arrest him. If somebody will make that comment, that person will look at that thing. And it is stop to make that one allegation. What kind of life is that? We just come to punish the people illegally. But what I'm going to say is that I'm looking like a diversion tactic because of the missing containers. And they're part of that missing container. Because of that, and they came to want to divert people's attention for the missing containers. But first thing needs to stop. Because our country is governed by law. And you are a member of parliament. The people who voted you and they trust you because of that come and steal their country. I think Afro-Mercy is also part. So people talking about them, we need to quickly do investigation. If there's any person who involved in this thing, we need to arrest that person to put that person into jail. We will not let this thing come into our government. Well, but they want to be thinking that NDC government, and we hear that it's not NDC government, so how can we hear it? If NDC continue winning the election,
Alhaji, thank you.
Thank you very much, Serwaa.
Alhaji, thank you very much. Thank you. I have another call on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Serwaa.
Yes,
how are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much.
Looking as beautiful as always.
God bless you. What have you got for us?
This is Amihere calling from Bono East region.
Yes, Amihere, we can hear you.
Okay. So I think with the issue of what Reverend Ntimfojo is ranting on, it's high time the minority takes Ghanaians serious. To be honest with you, it's high time they take us serious. I don't know how they look at us. I don't know how they see Ghanaians. Each time I thought there is a serious issue of national concern, they try to divert attention by bringing up or coming up with issues that are irrelevant, that does not put bread and butter on our tables. And it's high time we move away from such kind of politics. Instead of you to go back, do your homework very well as a political party, and bounce back to do something meaningful for Ghanaians, are trying to distort a very serious government that has barely just started and it is barely 3 months old, with a whole lot of issues that it is focused on in improving the lives of the ordinary Ghanaian. I mean, what is it about all this drug trafficking allegation Reverend Ntimfojo is saying? You see, now you are telling us that nobody has invited you. Tomorrow, they will go there, the national security will go to your house, and you will come back again and say that the national security invaded your house, your money has been stolen, and what, and the invasion. These are all criminal tactics. These are all tactics just to divert the attention of Ghanaians from the kind of stealing and the theft that went on during their regime. If not, where from all these information when the containers were getting missing at the Tema port, even their own minority leader, Afanyo Markins, has admitted the fact that there were a whole lot of things that were going on, even at their time. If he wants to do Ghanaians a favor, we appeal that he should rather come with information that will help the current government unravel the mystery behind the missing containers. And forget about these things that they are trying to do to just take people's mind off serious business. Let me conclude. Yesterday, like you said, I tried also sending money to my old lady at the village. And I realized that the E-levy thing has been taken off. Let me use this opportunity to thank His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and his new government for at least, if not for anything, honoring one of the promises that he made to us the youth. He told us he was going to take off the E-levy Yamutu. He told us he was going to take off the betting tax. Since last night till this morning, I've been on the betting waves. I've been hitting and chopping. Nobody is deducting any 10%. And I think it is bringing money back to our pockets again. So let me use that opportunity to thank the government so much, led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, for actually honoring their promise. Enjoy your day.
I've got another call on the line. Hello, good morning. Abu.
Good morning, Serwaa. How are you?
I'm doing well, Abu. Thank you very much for calling. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm calling from the second day, please.
Okay.
My greetings to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, wherever he is. May Allah protect him, give him long life and prosperity. You see, I'm very surprised of the same North people voting for this gentleman, Reverend. Very disappointed. So, we are in Ghana here. 8 years, we saw the Nadu government and Baunia and the Kenoforata mismanaging our economy. The corrupt type of corruption what is going on. And then he refused to come and do a press conference to condemn Nadu. And today, he has the gas to come on air. Come on air. So serious allegation. You see, I'm happy that there was videoing what is happening at the airport that time. You see, Ghanaians, I'm just giving to everybody. Let's pray hard for His Excellency. And my problem is agriculture. If His Excellency be able to tackle agriculture and this menace Galamsey destroying our water body and forests, Mahama will be able to kick this thing out. I hope Ghanaians will pray for him to go for another third term, because this is the only leader who can pray for him and then continue, because we can't let this man go scot-free. I have to allow this man to stay in power to do a good thing for we Ghanaians. Because, my sister, listen to me. Every guy who is listening to me, APP, they are the people who destroyed this country from the Kwame time. When we are crying for independence, they refuse to, take part of the Independence Day. Destroying Kwame for a lot of things. And today, they are doing the same thing to His Excellency GHOne Mahama. You are in the government 8 years, we saw your ruling, the type of money that you receive. What did you do with the money? If you talk about the roads, everything is totally down. Please, Ghanaians, we are appealing to you. Let's focus about this government and pray for him very hard. And you, the media, especially you, the media, you are the one carrying the news. If you see the news is the very fake, you know how to treat it. I think you should have called this gentleman on the face, or on the face of your telly, to ask you 1 or 2 questions about this container. On other crimes, the oil, from oil refinery. What did they do with it for 8 years? Please, you should call him, answer this question. The missing container and then Otama oil refinery. We have a refinery here, you still import crude oil from the outside this country. So please, I'm appealing to you, the media. You have a lot of work to do, especially the media. Because you will have to talk for we, the Ghanaians, or not people like me, or my sister, or my brother who's at home watching at you. Because these are corrupt people, we shouldn't entertain them. Never, never again. So thank you very much, my sister.
Thank you, Abu. I'll speak to my very last caller, and then I'll wrap up the segment. Thomas from Ashanti. Thomas, good morning.
Morning, Serwaa. Please, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I hope you're well too.
I'm also doing well. This morning, you so amazing and gorgeous.
Thank you, Thomas.
My regards to my lovely wife, Sandra, and then my lovely kid, Perry, and then Ohimeba from Ashanti Malogo. They need to attend to at Lighthouse Mission School. I love them all. Back to the pathetic issue. Auntie Serwaa, is it not obvious that Ghana, the hypocrite is too much? It's becoming unbecoming. We need to stop all this kind of hypocrisy, and then if someone is doing something, we need to reward the person. It's very bad. Who does that? We have to put all things aside and then support the government of the day. We are facing a lot of challenges, and then we've been doing that on the people's eyes. Why? It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Serwaa, Mahama is doing well, and then the fact that I am an NPP member doesn't mean that I don't have to appreciate what he's doing. Because the man is working. The man is working. Within these 3 months, we can see what the man is doing. Big ups to his energy ministers. They're all doing well. They're all doing well. We should stop this kind of case playing around and then chascally and whatever it is. No. You don't develop a nation like that or a country like that. See the energy minister, how enthusiastic he is. It's not only him, but rather the other ministers, they are doing well. They are doing well. So we have to support them and stop doing this NPP and the NDC, and then let's support the government of the day. And then at the end of the day, we will benefit. We will benefit from it. We should stop all this, and then let's support Mahama and then NDC.
All right. I'm so sorry that I have to cut you like that. But because of time, that's all I'm able to take in terms of the phone calls. I know there's so much happening and you want to share your opinion on it. But you can also do that by commenting on our social media pages. We're streaming live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on X. You can equally tweet at me using the hashtag GHToday, or you can tweet at me, Serwaa Amihere. I'll see your tweets and I will read them live on air. That's it for Inside Out. After this, it's Kotoka with Mutala. All right, it's time now for Kotoka, and Mutala joins me in the studio. Mutala, good morning.
Good morning, Serwaa.
How are you?
I'm good, yourself?
I'm doing very well.
I'm sure that if we were allowed time, the callers would just be...
Yeah. There's so much happening, isn't it?
A lot. People want to say a lot. We want to say a lot.
They have a lot of things on their minds.
I know, right?
Yeah, and rightfully so.
Yes.
What have you got for us?
I got a brief. Today's court sitting will be very brief. Court sitting will be very brief.
All the better, yes.
Absolutely. I'm taking you to the Supreme Court. And yesterday, after the election, the issue about the parliamentary results, specifically with respect to some 4 constituencies, it's not over yet. We know that so far it's only one that is suspended. Tema Central, Okaigwe Central, and then Techiman South have been declared already, except Airblick Manov. But the NDC is not settled, is not agreeing to the High Court's grant of that mandamus application, that compelling order to the EC to go and collate or complete the processes. So they are at the Supreme Court. And yesterday, the Supreme Court sat, and people were hoping that it was going to be the hearing of the substantive matter, but no, it was a single Supreme Court judge, Justice Yao Dakwasari, who sat. And once you see a single Supreme Court judge sit, then it has to do with the motion. And the motion was to the effect that the NDC said that, look, they have seen the Electoral Commission's affidavit in opposition to their case before the court, and they think that they ought to reply. But they are out of time. So they are at the Supreme Court yesterday to ask for leave, for opportunity, to be given the opportunity, to file a reply to that. And yesterday, the EC opposed to it and said, look, you filed a process about 2 months ago. You weren't sleeping. You were given time within 7 days to reply. You didn't do that. The court should just dismiss the request. But the court said, look, in the interest of justice, and the matter also is being a public interest matter, the court will allow it. So they were given 7 days from yesterday to file. And the court said the EC and the other interested parties, the NPP candidate, also have 7 days if they wish to reply. But yesterday, several moments after the court sitting, I've been speaking with Seth Inyaba, who represented the NDC, and let's hear what he has to say.
In the EC's statement of case, they made reference to a letter that was written by the EC to the Minority Caucus in 2020 in relation to the Techiman South parliamentary election issues in 2020. But that letter is not before the court. So it's part of the reasons why we want to attach that letter to our supplementary affidavit in response to the EC's affidavit in opposition to our application. And then in the EC statement of case, they've also raised some fundamental legal issues which we deem it necessary to respond to by way of writing.
So that is set in Yaba after the Supreme Court sitting, telling us about why they came to the Supreme Court and all that. But the EC's lawyer, Justin Amenuvo, said, look, don't grant the opportunity because they weren't sleeping. So I've been asking counsel. The EC said you went to sleep. Did you sleep?
Not sleeping. We're having challenge in terms of serving the second to safe interested parties. So that clearly affected us in terms of keeping the time in check. In terms of factual and legal matters, unless something else happens, with legal issues, you can't tell what is in store.
So that is set in Yaba over there after the Supreme Court, the district courts. prosecution amended the charge sheet. Now abetment is added to that, so he's facing the count of the charge of murder and abetment to murder. His plea has not been taken because the police said that they are still conducting further investigations into the matter. For that matter, his lawyers took the opportunity to urge the court to grant him bail, but the court said no, I'm inclined not to grant bail, so it was dismissed. The lawyers have moved upstairs to the High Court to file a bail application. Today, Justice Kizita Nako Akwashi, Criminal Court 5, will sit on that particular bail application. So if he's lucky, he'll be admitted to bail. But if he's not lucky, then he'll still be in the cooler. So it's one of the cases that we look forward to. But there's a video I'm going to show you, Serwaa. It's about human trafficking. Director, let's see that video about the human trafficking. You see the video on your screen. This is human trafficking. This is a Nigerian who
So has she been sentenced?
Yes, she has been sentenced to 8 years for human trafficking. Yes, so she brought somebody from Chad. Didn't give her the correct orientation. Said, I'm coming to give you a job in Ghana. Brought the person to Ghana and only realized that she was coming to do prostitution. She wasn't comfortable, so the authorities, security agencies got to know about it. They arrested her. But there's another lady.
So, hold on. This lady.
Yes.
On the screens.
Absolutely.
Is she Ghanaian?
She's a Nigerian.
She's Nigerian.
She's a Nigerian.
She took somebody from Chad and told the person from Chad that she's going to give her a job in Ghana.
In Ghana, yes. So you see how the word is. Yes.
Some of these things, they make no sense.
It's troubling.
It is fooling. Forgive my French at this early morning. Because someone has left her country, comes to this country, and is telling you in Chad. Are you sure she herself, she doesn't want to go to the Chad? She's telling you
the point is that she's been in Ghana for a while. This lady has been in Ghana and fine. She's at Medina.
People are striving to leave this country to go anywhere else but Ghana.
This
but someone is telling you to come to Ghana and come and work. What kind of work?
That is the point. So when you are being assured,
and you come and you see,
it's the same way that
also. Well, I mean, yes, she has to go to jail. I do not condone any form of human trafficking. You know, I've been to the female ward of the female side of the Serwaa prisons. There are people there like that. She won't be the first. She won't be the second. I have interacted with people who are in jail, and they are not Ghanaians, who came in due to same circumstances, right? And I wonder that, you know, sometimes you don't know the kind of, you know, thinking that goes into some of these decisions that some people make.
People like this, they have got that energy to be able to convince you to do so many things.
Come on, Mutala.
No, I agree with that. Because the kind of sweet words they'll tell you, the kind of job they have secured for you, they will lie to you.
But don't you need evidence?
Well, it's also
sometimes I know that times are hard. I know that all of us want, you know, a better life. But please, when people make such promises to you,
and too good to be true.
Further questions, you know, sometimes it may not even be prostitution, but it may be there's no secure job.
Yeah. There isn't.
And so they take you, and it's not just Ghana, by the way. People promise people jobs in the Gulf, you know.
You get there, there's a different thing
It's a different ball game. You don't have a place to sleep, and you have to sleep in front of people's shops, pet with people. It's.
And you begin to regret decisions that you have made in all of that. So, in this case, she has been sorted out. So 8 years in lawful custody, and this one happened last year, September. So somebody that she has also been working very closely with was yesterday, the day before yesterday, convicted by the same court. And this morning, she will be sentenced. So the chances are that, if not 8 years, then I don't know. But the last time, in respect of this favor, the court took into consideration the number of years that she has been in custody. I think about 2 years before the sentencing. So that's what is going to happen. When the law caught up with her, she's now crying. That's the saddest aspect. You left your country, Nigeria, to Ghana, didn't engage in any better job, but prostitution. You didn't do that alone, but you tried to include others, innocent people who hitherto would not even dream of getting closer to a game like this. But she has the penchant to convince them to join. And so we'll hear from that. So that's what will be happening this morning in addition to the Ahmed Swale case.
So the other person who will be sentenced is also Nigerian?
He's also Nigerian.
Okay, they should all go to jail. Thank you very much,
Thank you,
for bringing us today. Stay with me. Let's quickly run you through the newspapers, and then we will settle down for... Okay, we'll come back for that. I was going to let you do that with me, but that's okay. My guests are already here, so we'll get into the conversation. This is GH Today. I know you're wondering, Serwaa, what happened to your favorite part of the show? Well, it's still there. Let's now take a look at our video of the day. You're welcome back to the show. This is GH Today. I am Serwaa Amihere. It's time for the breakfast review. Let me quickly run you through the papers very quickly. The Ghanaian Times newspaper: government restricts $6.2 billion excavator imports to check illegal mining, and this is according to the sector minister, Emmanuel Kofi Amabua. Strengthening cybersecurity laws to prevent online gender-based violence. And Feed Ghana program set to be rolled out April 11. This is according to the Agric Minister, and he's calling on everyone to have a farm, to start farming, from schools to churches, because he says that there are more churches than companies. So as a church, you should go into farming. And I totally agree. In fact, some churches have very big lands. You should apportion some to farming. Let's move on. The Daily Graphic will deal with Galamsey ruthlessly. Ban, state of emergency, other options on the table. And this is according to the Lands Minister. And I really hope, if IB is listening, that we touch on this Galamsey issue very briefly. Chief of Staff, Finance Chiefs discuss innovative financing models, and private participation in ECG Technical Committee recommends 3 modules. GRA assures refund of E-levy deductions after abolition. And finally, final newspaper, the Custodian newspaper: NPP MPs commended for dedication. Dedication to what?
You see, that's the problem with.
But you know that this is when we are all journalists here.
Yes.
When you take the newspaper,
yes,
don't you read the headlines before you go into the details?
Is actually not to tell the whole story.
Okay, and you are here, and I'm asking you, what are they commended for? What dedication?
For the work they are holding government accountable in Parliament.
Okay.
Doing what they are supposed to do, being the voice of the voiceless.
Who commended them?
Akufo-Addo, Bawumia, all the MPP gurus were there. The people are there.
Okay, government owes Zoom Lion 1.2 billion cedis. Minister reviews. And Lands Minister declares illegal miners dangerous terrorists. Okay.
Amazing grace.
Right. It's time for the breakfast review. Back to the show. Today I'm extremely happy because one of my favorite human beings is back on the show, and aside the fact that he's a colleague, I really love him, you know, in a very brotherly and sisterly manner. Please, no
why this explanations?
But I need to put it out there because I don't trust people like you. Kwame Danswe Champon, who went away. Kwame, you've been away for what? Years. Wilberforce, how long? For over 5 years. 4 years. And well, he's back. He's back with a new look. He has a beard.
Yeah.
Sadly. Welcome back.
I'm sure you like it.
I do.
Sadly.
Yep. Sadly.
To have beard? Is it sad to have beard?
Saith the man who has no hair.
Because you have no. Oh my
Kwame, it's good to see you and welcome back. Hopefully you're back to say, where were you, by the way? Where did you go?
Well, I'm happy to see you, first of all. And I've been around. I've been attending to some equally important stuff. But when IB called me, out of respect for you and your show, I had to stop other things and be here. So, but I've been around generally.
Doing what?
Here and there, I mean.
Political answer.
I know, right? Audu Mahama is the managing editor for the Custodian newspaper. Audu, good morning.
Good morning, Serwaa.
And Wilberforce Asari is the political editor for Asase Radio. Good morning to you too, Wilberforce. It's good to see all of you, but I'm more happy to see Kwame than the rest
I'm
of you.
actually also happy to see
all
him.
the time, so
I'm actually happy to see him.
To see him also, right?
I met him.
I know all the other things that he has been doing.
Don't we all?
Yes, but he has moved on now.
Has he?
Oh yes, I mean, time changes.
He hasn't moved on.
And
he hasn't moved on.
You must have understanding of the times and the seasons. If you read the scriptures, the Bible says that the children of Issachar had understanding of the times and the seasons. So when the times and the seasons change, you change with the times.
I
and the
appear
seasons.
to be excited with this your biblical quotation.
Oh
What
yes,
is this?
I mean, it's fine. It's all right.
I'm still here. I'm not around.
Anyway, so let's get into it because of time.
Yes.
Let's manage.
I just.
So we are able to tackle as many issues as possible. Let's start off with ECG. So
give me some few seconds to talk about arrest of a colleague journalist.
Okay.
On Wednesday by OSP. Last Wednesday, a colleague of ours called Gordon Asaribidiako, Wound to me media, was arrested by OSP. His offense was that he said the OSP had requested for private jet to do his work, and that was it. That was the basis for the arrest. And when we went there, myself, Wilberforce and other colleagues were there. In fact, Wilberforce was one of the, how do you call it?
I stood surety.
Surety. As for, and he was bailed on 5 million Ghana cedis bail with 2 sureties. If Gordon should disappear today, Wilberforce will be in trouble. Because 5 million Ghana cedis, I don't know where he will pick it from. But I'm questioning why somebody has made a certain, if it is allegation, if it is not true, we know what to do. You know what to do. And OSP to arrest somebody for miscommunication, mispublication, I think it's highly absurd because that's not the mandate of OSP. OSP is in charge of corruption and corruption-related issues. If you relate that the mere fact that the journalist has said that you have requested for a private jet to do your work is corruption. How is it corruption? You are making a request from government to do your work. How is it corruption? I think that OSP should focus on what he's doing. I was there the last time, and the building given to them and all the work they do. I think that we are wasting so much money on the Office of Special Prosecutor. I think it's our time we scrap that office. I saw the number of people there, and all these years say, "What can you point to one thing that they have done meaningful to this country and the millions of Ghana cedis, if not billions, we have pumped into that office over the years? What are they doing? What have they been able to do for this country?" I think we should scrap it because they are not even going beyond their mandate and doing other things because they know they probably have no work to do. I'll rest my case.
All right. The Minister for Energy has referred this whole ECG missing containers matter to the Attorney General. Well, over the weekend, we were told that some 14 persons were arrested, 11 Chinese nationals and some Ghanaians. Kwame, have you been following it?
I've been reading on it. I've been reading on it.
And I've seen a lot of back and forth on when it went missing, under whose administration it went missing, who was board chair then, who was ECG MD then, and it's a lot of back and forth. But from your readings on it, what have you picked up?
I want to believe I'm not so rusty to speak to these matters, but obviously I've been reading on it. But before the ECG matters, I'd like to state that in relation to what Audu was speaking about, right, I don't know the details of the exact matter, the Bidiako matter. I don't know, so I wouldn't want to comment on it. But as a person, I support the OSP's office. I think one of the things that I really liked that was left behind by the former president is the office of the OSP. If we are able to take our lenses off the person and focus on what the office can do for this country, there's a lot in there that I can do. And so personally, I have a support for that office. And it's not today. I have a permanent interest in that office. And I think it's an office that can do wonders for us if we are minded to make it work and we give it the support. So that said, on the ECG matter, Serwaa, look.
Serwaa, this man has just stepped on dangerous ground.
Allow him.
Who should allow that man to
allow him to make his point. When it comes to you, then you can talk. Thank you.
I'll visit the matter.
See,
he has just
on the ECG matter, Serwaa, if Ghana was a crime scene, as the president said, if it's supposed to be it, as the president said, ECG is like a murder scene with an active shooting still underway. If you look at the sequence of events that are happening at ECG, and very weird occurrences that happen at ECG, and still I haven't heard that the head of procurement or head of whatever has been asked to step aside so they don't interfere with the ongoing investigation. It's a bit strange. Look, from the time of the transition, you notice that a lot of the back and forth about when it got missing and all that could have been resolved if transition procedures were taken seriously. If the minister at the time had gone there to do that, direct count, we probably would have, solved the mystery around when it did happen. But for me, all that is not important. What is important now, Serwaa, is that we have established that 1,300 containers are missing. We do know the procedures that happened there. Some of the staff that worked there, I've heard Dubik Mahama, the former managing director, speaking to some of the issues. So ECG can operate and do the things they do because over time, the people in charge of ECG are not held accountable for the things that happen there. If you listen to Honorable Afenyo-Markin, you notice that the problems of ECG have been known by almost everybody who has been there. But the thing is that everybody is afraid to deal with it. And I'm told that, often you try to resolve it in your initial days, like Janapo appears to be doing. And I have a lot of respect for the energy he brings to the job. If you're not careful, you are trapped in some manner, and after a few months, you're unable to talk again. Look, if National Cathedral offends our sensibilities as a nation, the sheer amount involved in the ECG saga will get you sick. Do you know that the value of the container, according to the investigation report, is over $489 million, including transformers in the containers missing? And yet we move on. You know why? Because when the lights are not stable, when the lights are doing doom-so, we don't blame the management of ECG as an organization. We are looking for the president or the minister to tackle. And so the people there, they know that they can mismanage as much as they want. When Ghanaians begin to get angry, they will ask who is the president and who is this, and the responsibilities will not be put on them directly. And so it's a cycle. They know that we are just making noise. After some time, we'll move on. I am not so pleased with the way we are handling the investigation. Look, yesterday I read that the minister has now formally extended the BNI to look, all that charade, I don't think it's necessary.
I thought you said they transferred the matter to Attorney General.
Yes, Attorney General. Yes. Look, Serwaa, this matter, we know when it happened. We know who signed whatever, who gave approval. Why are those people still in place and working? Why? Is it a crime to ask that the people...
When you say we know, what do you mean? Like, we know who signed what and what...
Okay. So, I am speaking to what I have read from the investigative report. And if you read, they tell you when a contract was given to somebody to bring in the containers, when somebody who was not even having the certificate to do the clearing for those containers was awarded over $129 million to deal with it, despite the fact that ECG has its own certificate to do clearing by itself, yet they went ahead to award over $100 million contract to another agency that was not certified to do that clearing. That's clearly a problem. Adelai, there's a problem in there. And somebody assigned that contract. The contract to the person who didn't have the certificate to do that job. Somebody signed it. They haven't denied that those persons are there. So why is it so difficult to ask those persons to step aside whilst we do the investigation? Because it is commonplace that in order not to interfere with an ongoing investigation, people who are suspected to have had something to do with the deal will step aside. Because you see, we cannot sustain this subject forever. At some point, we will move on. When we move on, the rot at ECG will continue. And I haven't heard POO in this matter. Have you heard from them?
No.
It looks like the only time POO, is interested in ECG matters is when it's about privatization or not. The rot there, why are they not talking about it? The public, there's a
URC.
Yeah.
No.
No.
It says POO. Public
Utility regulatory.
You notice the only time you hear them is when it's about privatization or something. The inefficiencies at ECG, it goes beyond political colors. When you are buying, look, how many of us haven't received our ECG bill or seen it on the app and say, hey, you're ready? We see it all the time and we say, the bill is going up.
We have Usain meter.
But you see, Serwaa, despite the losses that they make, individuals are at ECG and are competing with Elon Musk on our public taxes. They are just making money and the government gets blamed for it. I just hope that Jinapo will not lose his initial gaga and deal with this matter so that at least we know that the bills we pay, it is not because somebody is stealing the money and giving contracts here and there, but because we are all supposed to contribute to nation building. It is painful when you watch what we are reading about ECG and yet later they will bring the bill and they say, oh, we suffered system losses and we are not able to account for everything. And yet the little that they are able to collect, people are stealing it. And they are hoping that we'll get over it. So those will be my initial comments.
Wilberforce.
Okay. So on this issue about the arrest of the journalist, I think I just add my voice to it, the fact that I was surprised that the special prosecutor had stepped into that space, which has to do with false publication and false communication. It's, for me, I think it's outside the mandate of the special prosecutor. If anything, the special prosecutor could have made a complaint to the police and then the police will carry out that investigation on its behalf because it was outside its mandate. That's the reason why when it investigated Sisi Adapa and found that there was nothing corruption and corruption offenses related, he said he had seconded the docket to Iyoko for purposes of money laundering because it was outside his remit. So he had to stay within the remit. That's the understanding that I have. So I also add my voice in saying that I was surprised about the arrest. And even though we support the work of the OSP, I think that it is not appropriate for you to go outside your remit because it's somebody today, it could be me tomorrow, or it could be you tomorrow. And if we will condemn it today, we have to condemn it tomorrow. And so yes, that's
the only odd one.
Yeah, so that is
support for Yoko.
That is the side. But on the ECG matter, see, the processes of importing anything into our country is highly regulated. Nobody can import anything into this country without going through that regimented procedure. And when I say regimented, I mean regimented because you buy something outside, you have to put it on a vessel. When you put it on a vessel, the vessel brings it to Ghana. The vessel owners hand over whatever they have brought to the security agencies. And when I say security agencies, I'm talking about customs. And then it is customs that will do a comparison of the documents that the shipping company brought as against you, the importer, what you have, packing list, bill of lading, all those things. When they do the comparison and they are satisfied, then they'll release the container to you as the importer. And then you can take it out of the port and go and use it to do whatever you want to do. So if you imported a vehicle today, if you are the importer, you imported your name, there's a bill of lading all those things are supplied to the shipping line. It is supplied to you, the purchaser. When you come, the customs will have it. We do a comparison. So all I'm saying is that this ECG import, whatever it is, if it was 1,000 containers, 3,000 containers, all the containers have numbers. There was a packing list. We know the vessels that brought it. If not one vessel, 2 vessels or 3 vessels, we know all those things. When it came to the port, those who were supposed to clear it, in fact, the consignees, the agency that was supposed to, all those things are known. So a container cannot arrive in Ghana and leave our ports without going through strict checks. Nobody can tell me that. So if containers belonging to ECG were imported, they got to the port and they were able to leave the port, then there is a problem, because there was a human intervention that led to the containers leaving the port. Without those human interventions, the containers couldn't have left the port. So see, if the containers left the port wrongly, the human interventions that were involved, the system over there knows the human interventions and can easily go after them without a shadow of doubt. So all I'm saying today about this ECG matter is that however those containers arrived in the country and left the port and went to the wrong place is documented. If there is wrongdoing anywhere, the documentation should be able to give up the wrongdoing. And so whoever are the authorities, and I'm interested in the fact that the minister says he has forwarded it to the AG's department. When it goes to the AG's department, what it means is that you are suspecting wrongdoing. So those who have been involved in wrongdoing should be arrested, charged, and prosecuted. And that is all that we want, because these containers were not in the custody of ECG. As we speak today, ECG may have imported them, but if they were still in the port and they left the port, that means that they were not in the custody of ECG. ECG had not gone to clear the containers and were keeping them at the port. As long as we know the containers were imported on behalf of ECG, there were concerns and there were some issues, so the containers were still at the port in the custody of the security authorities.
Well, let me, Serwaa, with your permission.
Sure, please go ahead.
Let me, boost your position with, you see, the crimes that are happening there, the alleged crimes, they precede the presence of the port environment. Listen to a part of the report. It says, a clearing contract worth $127.65 million, cedis, 127 million cedis, was awarded to a company that was not a registered customs house agent, even though ECG is a self-declarant capable of handling its own shipments. That's one. 2, another company, that was Bond Limited, fraudulently cleared 47 containers without paying the required duties and delivered only 46 to ECG.
They cleared 47.
Yes.
And delivered only 46.
So they
kept only one. So
no, but
they cannot say only.
Just think about it.
But I'm just saying about it.
Yes.
You cannot say only one.
They fraudulently cleared.
Kept one.
So you have a state agency like ECG, and you see with ECG, just one container could have items worth billions of cedis.
Yeah.
And yet that matter didn't come up, so they just kept it. So there's a sequence of alleged wrongdoing happening at ECG. The port environment is just a small part of it. And how this has festered for this long, only God knows.
Well, corruption at the ports, for me, I think is systematic. I had a short stay at the ports, working there. And there was one time that a company that buys cashew in Ghana came to buy cashew. And they loaded the cashew from a warehouse. Trucks picked the cashew, driving them to the port, drove them to the port, shipped them to India, to Korin in India. By the time the containers arrived in India, the containers, the bags that were there, the cashew that was loaded was filled with sand. So they exported sand, even though these people had bagged their cashew at their warehouse, put it on trucks. The warehouse was in Tema. from the warehouse to the port was just like 10 minutes or so drive or less. But the containers were shipped all the way to India on the high seas for over 30 days. Arrived in India. When they opened the bags, they were full of sand. And this is something that I was working with the company that was doing the exports. And so I got to see, I got to hear, I got to know. So I will not sit here and be naive about corruption and corruption-related activities at the ports. We've had ANAS do investigations and we all saw it. So it is systematic and perhaps maybe it's widespread. And so I don't dispute it. But even this one is not export, it's rather import. So if export can happen, such things can happen, how much more import? You can import something and before it comes to your house, it has gone to somebody else's house. So this is a situation where you can clearly tell that there's been wrongdoing. And the wrongdoing is systematic. And it's not on one front. It's not in one space. Because we've seen other letters that suggest that current administration officials wrote letters. For example, National Security Coordinator also allegedly writing a letter which was not copied to the ECG or copied to the Minister for Energy, but was copied to the Minister for Transport for a certain amount of the containers to be cleared and lifted from the port to the warehouse of National Security Coordinator or whatever it is. So I'm only saying that obviously there's been some kind of a problem with this ECG container. We even found some of the containers with some Chinese people who were using it to do something else. We've had all those things. So I'm only suggesting that this whole issue has a real clear and present problem with it. And the only way we can resolve this is to keep cool heads and do thorough investigation and be seen visibly prosecuting wrongdoers. And that's because there is documentation to prove the in and out of containers from the Tema port. If anybody is telling me in this country that somebody can import even one container, just one container into this country and clear it without going through documentation, I will be scandalized. How much more 1,350 containers? My goodness. Good morning.
How do?
Serwaa.
Yes.
See, we pretend too much in this country.
That's
the pretensions are just too many in this country.
That's how I
Are
agree.
we saying we don't know the people who release these containers to whoever? Are we saying, sitting here, genuinely saying that we don't know? There are two issues to this story. The EC part, the importation, and how the alleged illegality that were involved in this. That's what you have just mentioned. And the people who were contracted to actually, how do you call it, clear the goods and all that. That is one part. But if the goods were cleared, the goods should have been at the port, isn't it? If you bring goods and they are not clear, they should be at the port. Now, the reason why we are talking about this matter is because some 1,300 and something containers were missing or had flown out of the port. That's what we are talking about. Are we saying, Serwaa, we do not know the people who were in charge of these containers at the port? Are we saying we do not know the people who release these containers to whoever? Are we saying we do not have national security at the port 24/7 who monitor what goes in and comes out into the port? Are we saying we do not know the people who are in charge of these processes? When a container comes in and who is giving, who keeps that container, and when the container is leaving, who releases it? Are we saying we don't know these things? Are there not people in charge of these who release the containers? We are here talking because we are pretending we don't know. And the minister is all over. The thing moved from 3,000 containers to 2,005 containers. Now 1,003 something are missing. Why are we doing this to ourselves? People have imported this and somebody has taken custody of the containers. And the containers are missing. We cannot say that, look, this one, there should be a paper trail. Somebody is keeping the information. Somebody has released it. it's moved from one point to another. The people who allegedly bought these containers, are they not around? Some have been arrested. So they should be singing, like Attorney General said. Let us hear those who bought the containers be singing. Who did they buy the containers from? Let them be singing. Look, this thing is a simple matter. This matter is a simple matter that we should know. By now, we should have known the people who have released the containers, who have bought the containers, and that should be comprehensive enough by now. We should not be here thinking about who did what and who did that. So I mean, this thing, you said that the energy minister had come with some zeal, some energy and all that. And this energy will die down. You know why? It will die down, it won't be long. You know why this thing has persisted over the years? Because politicians, when the only thing they do is that they accuse themselves. When this matter happened, you heard people in government now accusing the previous administration of this kind of thefts. And it has come, we have come to realize that a lot of the containers matter left the port under this administration. So are we saying they don't know who took them away? There are people involved. There are politicians, there are civil servants, there are people involved. And sometimes when the minister is called to say that, Charlie, be careful where you are going, that's where they stop. They will be called, be careful where you are going, because there's one incident that if you pursue, may bring the whole government down. And politicians are afraid of that. That's why we have this persistently happening. As you said, is it today that this thing has been going on at the port? And when it happens, what do? They accuse themselves, MPP, NDC, and the civil servants and people at the port. No more for Muhwedi. They jubilate. The people are looting at the port. The sort of money that goes out of that place, we cannot imagine. Billions of dollars. And yet we are here begging. We are going to IMF to collect 3 billion. You know, they are in town. We are struggling to meet the conditions for them to release their money to us, and we are throwing away billions of dollars to people we don't even know. That's the country in which we are. As for this matter, we should separate them. There's the procurement side. If the ECG people have done something wrong, pursue them. But the people, once the containers have been brought, some people have been charged because obviously they were not in the custody of ECG. Those containers were not in custody of ECG. ECG might have done their part, some alleged wrongdoing, handle that separately, and also handle the disappearance of the containers.
Yes. I do not believe that people at the port or some criminals at the port on their own give out the containers.
That's why.
So if you listen to Honorable Afenyomakin,
yes,
the things that happen at ECG are known to the people who have worked at ECG at the top. I think these days when you ask your kid what they want to be in future, they probably should say you want to be a managing director or something big at ECG, because obviously there's free money there. Afenyomakin says that he questioned some of the things there, and they told him that this is the practice.
Yeah, over the years.
That is very dangerous.
Yes, that's very dangerous.
That is very dangerous.
But I'm saying that
so what it means is that the thing that they are doing, what is happening at the port, is only symptom of what happens
in there.
Yes, but so port people on their own, look, without authorization from ECG and their management, I can certainly tell you that people at the port will not just decide that, okay, this one ECG brought in, and so let's take it.
ECG cannot authorize. No. Please hold on.
It is my pen that he has taken some part.
I'm sorry.
Are you done?
Yes,
but let me just.
I'm not saying you are suggesting that it is the ECG people who have instructed the people at the port to release those containers. I'm not sure that's what you are suggesting. I am not sure.
I am saying that there's a connivance between people at ECG
so that
and the port.
So that ECG will refuse to clear the goods when they bring them, and then they will connive the people at the port for the goods to.
Now I'll tell you why. So, if you order for goods and they arrive, and you know that I've ordered for this number of things and they have arrived, and you take custody of some of them, and there is an outstanding, okay, and you do not talk about it, you don't do anything about it until there is a new person in charge, and the person goes there to identify that this and this are missing. Are you telling me that the person who ordered it and had a fair idea of the number of containers they ordered, kept quiet until a new minister comes and says this and this are missing, and then the person who originally was in charge of the thing didn't do anything about it? Is that the point you're making?
That's not
So I'm only saying
that's not
making. This issue that you are making. This issue
unless you are telling me that the new guys who just came, they came and they saw the containers there, which is highly improbable. They saw the containers there and it's okay, this and this and this, we are in charge now, take it to this place. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Even if you're a chief, you just step in office, 3 months, you come, you see ECG container, no, take it. No, it doesn't work like that.
While I agree with you that it doesn't work like that, I'm also suggesting that because of my understanding of how this whole issue of container movement has been in our ports, I'm suggesting that there is more to everything that has happened in this ECG matter. This is just one, because it's ECG. There are other companies or state-owned companies that also import things, maybe not to the magnitude of ECG, but they also do, and some of these things happen. We may not hear about it or we may not know about it, but I am only saying that the evidence trail that we are seeing suggests to me that there are elements in the port structure, maybe elements in the ECG, or elements in state agencies, other state agencies. It could even be some of the security agencies who saw that there is an avenue for making of money with this huge ECG containers that were sitting at the port, inherited by a new government that has come, obviously creating gaps and spaces, and so decided to exploit it. The movement of these containers, how many went to those Chinese people? They said they discovered 4 containers. We've seen a letter that says move 700 of the containers from here to here. We have seen others that are suggesting that take this here to there. So what has happened?
You see, I think the question you are not asking.
Hold on. He says you are taking his time.
Let me conclude. I'm not going to waste my time on this matter.
Conclude.
Look, the reason why I'm saying we are pretending in this country, the minister should be telling us when and how those containers left the port. Which period? He's talking about previous administration now. The minister should be able to tell us this number of containers left this time. At this material moment, they left port and went to this place. There's a point of, how do you call it?
You are asking the minister to, so in a way, hold a press conference and update us.
He has spoken extensively.
You are the same person.
I am not talking of press conference.
So how should he do that in a press statement and tell us when the things got missing? I'm asking you this question because last week we were here.
We are talking of legal matter and the Serwaa, you see, when you do this, you are not being fair to me.
Okay.
You are not being fair to me. I must be frank. Look, I am saying that people are here talking about when the things left the port, the containers. Like, is it too much to ask the minister to tell us when and how the containers left the port and the period? Is it too much to ask for?
It's not, I guess. So that's what you.
So that this thing about it happened in previous administration, it happened in this current administration, we should put that to bed. Let the minister tell us. I told you there's a paper trail. When those containers left, why?
Are you suggesting that it could have been missing under this administration?
If I'm suggesting that, why would I say that you should tell us?
Okay.
What kind of question is this, Serwaa? If that is what I'm suggesting, that they got missing under this administration, why should I be telling the minister to tell us when?
So you are saying that you know that it got missing under the previous administration?
See, you have asked a wrong question at a different time. Listen to me again. I am saying that the minister should tell us when. Because look, the thing didn't disappear. All these containers didn't disappear one day. They took some period. It took some period for them to disappear. Let the minister tell us. The containers started disappearing from here, from this date to this date. Then we'll know. If it is 1,000 under MPP, we'll know it is 300 under ADC. And that's what we will be talking about. Now they said that they've disappeared. Disappeared when? When did they disappear?
Containers can disappear.
So you suspect that some disappeared even under this?
I am saying that containers disappear. Let the minister tell us. I don't suspect anything because I don't work there. I don't move out containers from the port. There are people in charge. Let the people be telling us when those containers left.
All right.
I'm saying that the minister should be able to tell us the period in which those containers left the port.
No container disappeared from the port. From the port.
No, they moved.
It is not possible.
I am saying that when I say disappear,
yes,
you should understand.
I know, but I'm just telling you. I'm repeating here on this television station.
Why are we pretending?
We are telling anybody in authority, both from the port to the ministry to ECG, that none of the imported containers disappeared.
Even when they are auctioning goods, who gives the approval for the auctioning?
Even when people import cars.
I think we are using disappear in the wrong context.
No, when I say disappear, no. Then let me say
we also
disappear. I am saying disappear.
Yes, it's figurative.
It's figurative. Okay. I'm not saying disappear.
So we are suggesting is that none of the imported containers, if any of them have left the port, like the confines of the Tema port, they exited the port. None of them exited without the knowledge of the system at the port.
Okay.
None of them. All of them
when I say disappear,
if NIB has been invited
when I say disappear,
look into this matter.
I mean, they said they are
should
missing.
that not bring financial? Let's wait and know the outcome of that investigation.
They said they are missing. Right?
Audu, please.
What is it?
NIB has been invited into the matter to investigate the different numbers when it got missing and that when it got missing. Maybe we should wait for that investigation.
This NIB thing, I'm having confusion because you see, NIB was first BNI.
It is now NIB.
It was NIB. It was NIB because they wanted them to go into intelligence.
NIB people, I didn't know at the port.
National Intelligence Bureau.
Security, I didn't know at the port.
As against National Investigations. National Investigations Bureau. There's a difference. They moved from that investigations into intelligence. So they are investigating. CID, Criminal Investigations Department of the Police Service, is actually the one that does this, and then IOCO does investigations on organized crime and all that. So NIB is supposed to provide intelligence. That's what I understand when they
are
so
going
what's
to
your point now?
So my point is that
the change in name will affect the work they are doing.
No, they are not supposed to be involved in the investigations. They are agencies. It's the CID. They are the ones supposed to do the investigation. They have the wherewithal. They are supposed to provide them the intelligence support to be able to do the investigations. And so I find it quite intriguing. But maybe the new government wants them to go back to their BNI days.
Are we saying we don't have NIB people at the port? Are we saying we don't have national security at the port?
They are all there.
Are we saying we don't have, as for customs, it's
you see, I think it's unfair. It's unfair.
Let him land.
How do you forgive me? Forgive me.
You are talking of unfairness when we are here being bombarded with this kind of missing. Why? When people are in charge of
the fact that they are there doesn't mean that they shouldn't investigate it. Is that what you're saying?
See, that's not what I'm saying.
There are people
I am saying that
to actually do the investigations. When Felix recently addressed the press with his video,
please allow him to.
No, I understand. I don't want to talk.
You have interrupted me so much.
I think that
today both of you have been highly disruptive towards me. I am saying that there are people. You see, why are we here making all these comments? We are making comments because we pretend we don't know how the things left the port. That's what we are doing. And I'm saying that there are people in charge of the port. Even if there were orders from above, we should have trail of the orders, paper trail of those orders or verbal orders. The men can be. If we pretend that we don't know how the things left the port, all these containers left the port, then we'll come to naught with these investigations. Because we will know the people who will not mention their names.
Okay.
If we pretend we don't know how the things left
make your point.
The point I want to make is pretty simple. And if you do logical deduction of everything that's happening, you can't convince me that the missing containers, it's difficult to convince me that the new set of people who just came in less than 3 months ago and all that are the people who may have some way, somehow influenced the missing of containers.
Hold on. Well, do you remember? You see, you are not good.
I'll do.
You see, when he
finish.
Was, you see, he won't finish because when I was talking, he came. What do you mean by let him finish? When they are talking, they interrupt me. I should let them finish. But when they interrupt me, I should. Why? Serwaa. He's talking of
Can you let him make his points, please? Thank you.
So I'm saying that. I'm saying that. So the people who may have something to do.
People came and they were hijacking ports and airplanes. You are not telling me.
Please mute Audu's microphone for me. Thank you.
So if there's a crime happening at ECG, it is with the management at the top, and the information we needed to appreciate what is happening was given by the former board chair. Okay, so it is not a mystery.
But did this thing happen at ECG or happen at the port? Kwame, did it happen at ECG or happen at the port?
Why are you guys missing procurement with disappearance?
Your microphone is off, so we cannot.
Why are you overlooking? Why are you guys? Hold on. How would you calm down?
No. But what is it? We can't hear him anyway, so please go ahead.
Okay, I'm saying that. So he's just distorted my thought pattern. But you see, I don't know why they are overlooking an obvious trail of wrong that has been established by the investigation that was conducted into this matter.
Okay.
From the beginning, award of contracts to uncertified companies, ECG checking its role, something they are certified to do, they overlook that and give money to another person. So there's a trail of wrongdoing right from the beginning. It is there. Right. And yet at the apex, you are forgetting about all that process. And you say we should be concerned about what's happening at the apex. Something went wrong. The foundation of the building is a problem.
All right.
So you cannot overlook the building. So I am saying that I'm going to. I think that they focus. Look, what we are doing here. Eventually, we will end up. No. My focus is the people at ECG, who I strongly believe know what is happening. Are you not worried about what is happening at the ECG?
Kwame, the point is, the problem is, there are two issues. Yes, I agree with you.
Only one.
I am not oblivious.
Why? Let me tell you.
Kwame, the reason why if everybody speaks, the viewers can't.
Kwame, the reason why I have an issue, with your submission is that this matter we are talking about of missing containers.
The containers cannot be accounted for. Let's not keep using missing.
Exactly. I agree.
They cannot be accounted for. What
so I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
Check the word missing.
Yes, I agree with you.
Please, Audu, if you continue to be disruptive to the show, I'll mute your microphone for the rest of the program.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I agree with you that these containers should not be referred to as missing.
Yes.
They might have been moved or misplaced. They cannot be accounted for. Yeah. But I'm saying that, Kwame, irrespective of the challenges that ECG has in terms of its shortcomings and everything, this matter we are talking about, it happened at the port. It didn't happen at the ECG office. These containers were not cleared into ECG custody. And then out of ECG custody, the containers have gone missing. The containers at all material times were in the custody of our customs. They had not been cleared. There's no evidence that ECG had cleared the containers and that it was in their custody and then they have gone missing. So the one who has it, the one who has the subject matter is the one that we go to. How did these containers leave your premises? If ECG officials on the blind side of ECG went to the port and convinced the port authorities that we have come to clear, and so the port authorities, we know them, ECG officials, this person came, he said they needed this and they had finished with the process, so they cleared 10. It's documented. You understand? The letter that we saw from the National Security Coordinator instructing that some amount of the container should be moved from one location to the other, as in the demurrage and everything should be waived and all those kind of things. If it is true and they were moved, there's documentation to show that 700 of the containers were requested for by national security and they were moved from location A at the port to this warehouse. Do you understand? So I'm really saying that there is systematic evidence that we can find at the port to resolve this problem. The ECG aspect, if ECG as an institution had cleared and it was in their custody and they are missing, then we can put the blame squarely on ECG. In this matter we are talking about, containers were in the custody of customs at the port.
You don't get my point.
Okay, thank you. Audu, come in. You have the final take on this.
Okay, missing. When you say something is missing, this is a definition of a thing not to be found because it is not in its expected place.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a dictionary definition
of missing, something missing. It is not to be found because it's not at its original place. So it's missing. Because we cannot find them at the port. When I started this topic, I said we should separate the issues. There is the issue of procurement at EC with all its alleged wrongdoing. We should separate it from the goods that have landed at the port. And I'm saying that if it comes to the goods that have landed at the port, that was a different matter. Because those goods were not under the custody of ECG. Yes, we can talk about the how do you call it? The report of the investigative body on all that, about what EC does. We can talk about that. But what has brought this matter to the fore is about the disappearance of, or the missing, or what do you say, what is your term? How we cannot find those containers at the port. That's what we are talking. That's why this whole thing has appeared.
Have you guys listened to Dubik Mahama on this matter?
I have.
You have?
What did he say? He said those containers were not on their custody. That's it. Look, I am saying that we are saying, if it is about what ECG procurements or all that, it's a different matter. I am saying that this matter has come to the fore because of the missing or disappearance of the containers. That's why we are here. So let's separate what happens at ECG, the alleged malfeasance at the procurement level and all that. And also why the containers that have been brought and why they have disappeared from. These are two different matters that we should be looking at. We should look at what you are concentrating on. It's a serious matter that we must consider. But we should also look at the disappearance of the containers, the millions of dollars of the containers that have disappeared. That's another matter we should look at. I am saying that we are here because those containers, we cannot find them. Whether we cannot find them or somebody is taking them somewhere. That's why we are here. That's what I'm talking about. That's what the other matters, if people can have your say.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Let's move on because of time. Else we're going to spend the whole time talking about ECG and its missing containers. I'm sure that by next week when we all gather back here, God willing, there'll be an update and then we can continue with that conversation. But E-levy is gone, right? I mean, you send a lot of mobile money, don't you? Kwame does as well. I will do that. E-levy is gone. You don't have to pay E-levy. Emissions levy, betting tax, they are all gone. I want us to use 5 minutes each to touch on it because I want us to look at the Global Info Analytics report as well. And then the minorities' claims of drug trafficking and money laundering with those aircraft. So very quick on the E-levy. John Mahama promised and he has delivered. He said within 90 days he was going to scrap E-levy, emissions levy, and the betting tax, and it's gone. There's still COVID levy, by the way, which we understand in the next budget will be scrapped. Wilberforce, you should be happy.
Well, it's quite interesting.
Which one?
That a tax is being removed, which means that there is a tax vacuum that is created in terms of revenue to the state. We are told that annually E-levy was bringing us what 1.2 billion. Was that it? I don't remember the figure, but I'm just saying that E-levy was bringing us some money, and we've let it off. What it means is that the government must find a replacement to be able to meet those revenue needs. So I'm asking myself a question. I mean, there seems to be something on your ears.
Thank you.
So I'm asking myself the question that where are you going to get the vacuum? What is the new avenue that has been created to fill the vacuum? Maybe we should know, because it is true that it's been removed. We are not going to be paying for that when we send Momo, which is good news. But the revenue that was accruing to the state, based on that, we still need the revenue. It's not like the state can do without it. So we must be getting that money from somewhere else. I'm interested in knowing how we are going to be getting that money back. Who is going to be paying it? How are we going to pay it? How is the government going to collect that and fill that vacuum? Remember, we are on an IMF program, and the E-levy revenue was part of the revenue sources that was used to be able to secure the IMF program. So if you take it off, it means that you are bringing something else that will help you to get that revenue, so you don't create a revenue vacuum. Because if you create a vacuum, it will affect the progress of the program that you are on. So I'm happy that it is gone, but I am also, as an ordinary Ghanaian, interested in how we are filling that vacuum. And I think that we need some explanations. Maybe I don't know whether we are filling that with the introduction of a new tax that we don't know about and all that, but there must be a way to fill the vacuum, and we also need to know about it.
But at least you're happy that it
of course, yes.
Okay,
yeah.
I will do.
And you know, let me just quickly add that both political parties in the rundown to the 2024 elections promised to remove E-levy,
yes,
including the NPP.
But yes,
so
when it comes to the promise of the NPP, people did not have so much hope in it, because you heard it, you read it, you saw it, that you cannot be a party in power, introduce the same tax, and you are telling me that you scrap it when you're given the chance because there's a new, there's going to be a new sheriff in town. But anyway, on that, I don't know why you brought that in. But
no, I just brought it in. No, that is why I brought it in because when they were taking the vote in the House, all those who say yes, everybody say yes. All those say no, there was no voice.
I will do.
His campaign promise that he has delivered on his campaign promise. That's all. Emission levy was never charged. So, and he has scrapped that one. That's also good. It was just in the books. Nobody collected money from it. So, campaign promise delivered. Period. I'm done.
Okay, before I comment on, I will raise a concern about what will compensate for E-levy. And if I recall, I think the minister, as part of the budget reading, said that they will use funds from unused tax refund allocations.
Unused,
tax refund allocations. Okay. And
how
also
do we
increase
generate
gold
that?
levies.
How do we generate that unused?
I am not so much of a tax person, but I know that when you pay your tax yearly, there's a certain amount that is reserved to compensate those who comply with the law over time.
Okay.
And so that's what. And if you look at the amount of money involved in E-levy, how much we're raising, it was so negligible that you could even take part of that money from the unused tax allocation and put both E-levy and betting tax together, and still there will be an outstanding. Do you understand?
You say he doesn't understand tax. Let me explain to him.
I will not. Kwame, please go ahead.
So
you will not allow me to explain to him that he doesn't understand. Let me explain.
Kwame, please go ahead. You said you were done, right? So let him finish. Then I'll give you the chance to explain.
So the minister said that they could take both E-levy and betting tax from that fund and still have excess to support, I think, free education or something, feeding or something. I heard something like that. Now you see, it's interesting to hear arguments that both parties agreed to scrap E-levy. We were here, Serwaa. A sick MP who was dying was carried on a stretcher to Parliament to come and vote. We are told that Adwoa Safo was sent money to come back home to come and vote. The whole government sponsored arts, went to Koforidia, went to places to hold talks for E-levy. We were told that when E-levy was implemented, we were going to get 11 million jobs. And that's the your problem, NASA. I recall, I was sitting here, that when E-levy comes, our problems are solved. Ghana will become a brutally. That's what they told us.
And we won't go to the IMF.
We won't go to IMF again. We are a nation with pride and ego. Do you understand? That's what we were told about E-levy. It is going to solve all our problems. And then today we are being told that both parties promised to do what? Look, for me, I think E-levy there, it is God who just blocked the ears and minds of the previous government so that it will just lead them to opposition. Because I think they had gotten to a point where if they had continued, this country will not be what it ought to be. And I have said it before. A point where they didn't care, they didn't listen, they didn't mind. Nothing matters, especially to the president. With the president, he didn't care. Nothing matters. You look, if you are seen to be taking state money and the president gets to know you, at best they fight the people who are complaining. Nobody cares. Look, and I can give several examples of how things would have got so wrong if things had continued the way it was going. People had become adamant to common sense and were no longer sympathetic to the national cause. They didn't care. If you complained, a few boys will come under your post and they will come and tell you that you are jealous of what is happening and what is happening in Ghana. We had GHOne to me telling us that Ghana has become better than the UK and other places. All these things happened. All these things happened, and today you are telling us that all of them promised to scrap E-levy. What didn't we do to stop them from implementing E-levy? The former finance minister wore his white and made all of us appear like sinners just so they could get E-levy through. I recall the number of adverts they sponsored and said that, the NDC were jealous because if E-levy was implemented, they will never come to power again. They are dead. E-levy was implemented. And see, yet, what happened? We still went to IMF. We still are so broke, begging all over the place. So for me, I am happy these guys, those in government now, have scrapped it. It ought to be scrapped. It was nuisance. There are times I had to drive out to go and look for a place to cash out my money because that small money they would do, that was so annoying that if I transfer 1,000, no matter me. Another 500, no matter me. So you see your phone and transaction, you are getting angry, you are getting BP just by E-levy. And then you don't understand. So for me, they promised, they have delivered. It's fine. So be it. We should move on from there. But what about the concerns that there's actually going to be a vacuum and you're going to be seeing in the coming, weeks, months, an introduction of a new tax to fill that vacuum? Okay, I'll read this to you. Those concerns have been raised, I'll read this to you, Serwaa. Yeah. The government, I'm reading from Graphic. Okay. Now, the government says it will use funds from unused tax refund allocations and increase gold mining levies to compensate for the revenue loss from the repeal of the electronic transfer levy, E-levy.
So that is why they increased from 1% to 3%. I mean, hold on, wait 1 minute.
But that is why for mining.
Yes, but somebody. So if you see, it looks like it is their tax, but it is the mining companies that are going to be paying the increase from 1% to 3% to compensate for the 1% E-levy that you are doing away with. Right. And so a section of Ghanaians, are going to be paying taxes.
Aren't they making a lot of money?
Exactly the point I was going to make. But I'm just telling you that when
would you rather pay the 1% and have the mining companies who are making so much money, as opposed to you and I who are not making any money at all?
If you listen to me, I'm just telling you that.
Quickly, please.
I'm just telling you that the cancelling the E-levy is preventing a section of the Ghanaian public,
a major section actually,
yes, a major, from paying a tax, but to replace it, you have to let another section of Ghanaians
who can afford it.
Fine. So in your mind, yes. But when they introduced E-levy, E-levy did not affect mobile money in any way. In any case, since they introduced E-levy, mobile money transactions kept rising. Every review, it was up.
Have you been to a shop where the woman will tell you that Minji E-levy you can be to America?
All those things were happening.
It told you the people it was targeting.
It was happening, but I'm just telling you that it did not affect mobile money transactions in any way. As we sit here, nobody can say that because of the introduction of E-levy, mobile money as a model of payment was badly affected. Nobody can say that.
But there are people who stopped transacting there.
Yes, but it didn't affect it. It didn't stop mobile money from growing.
You know what?
I understand the challenge. All I'm just saying is that you have removed a tax for a section of Ghanaians, a majority of Ghanaians, from paying a particular tax. But you have to compensate for it. So you are compensating for it by increasing the tax that is paid by another section.
For the rich.
You think they are happy?
For the rich.
No, but do you think they are happy?
But
they don't have to be happy.
For the rich.
For the rich.
Yes, that is what I'm telling you. Taxes. Nobody will ever be taxes about nobody will be happy. Yes, but nobody will be happy about taxes.
I think they should have included your own, because you are rich enough. Because they should have selected a few.
I'm not rich enough. I'm only saying that nobody was happy about taxes.
Come on, but
so now that
you cannot compare the market woman or my grandmother or my mother paying as opposed to a mining company. You cannot do this comparison.
I'm not doing a comparison. I'm only saying that it's a section of Ghanaians who are paying to substitute the other section.
How was the MPP going to make up for the?
Yes, they were also going to have to find a way. They were also going to find.
And someone has found a way. So what's your problem?
MPP introduced a tax that was supposed to have ended with this by 2024. When the NDC government brought their new budget, they actually found wisdom in extending it for another 3 years.
Are you happy with the E-levy removal?
Concerned about
yes, I am.
Are you happy with it?
I am.
So
you're happy.
Then let's move on.
I'm only saying that as a country, we all have an agreement. The taxes we needed, so we have to find another avenue of getting it, so that we can continue with the country.
Let's move on. Okay, so the minority. Did you want to say anything?
No comment.
All right. So the minority in Parliament this week, led by Reverend Itim Fojo, held a press conference. And in that press conference, he said that some aircrafts had come into this country and he was suspecting money laundering, drug trafficking and whatnot into this country. Well, yesterday, Felix Kwatshiofosu, who is the spokesperson for the president and government spokesperson, came out to refute those claims and said that those aircraft were here for genuine reasons, and that's it. There's AirMed and there's one other aircraft down there. So he said that these aircraft were here for genuine reasons, and the one beneath, the orange one and blue one, got in here and had a fault, a technical problem. So it had to stay here for a while for that to be fixed. And so all the allegations of money laundering, drug trafficking, what's not, they are neither here nor there. And that is why the MP who made those allegations has not been able to assist investigative bodies with the investigations. But just after that explainer by Felix, the MP took to social media to say that no investigative body had invited him to assist with any investigation. And so that's what we know so far. Kwame.
So there's a bit about the MP's concerns that I personally identify with. Okay. There's a part that I really think is just hot air, and he's just doing politics. The part about cocaine and all that, I think it's just throwing something in the system, and it's very unhealthy at this time. I mean, it doesn't look organic. It looks too contrived, like oppose for the sake of opposition, or say the wrong things to get attention. That's what appears to be Honorable Itim Fojo's problem. He's just throwing anything in there and hope that something will stick. And I think that it's too early for that kind of politics. You see, we all should be at a point where we know that these guys are genuinely, they've gotten into waters that we need to watch out. But to marshal some fake or premature opposition to everything they do, just say there is cocaine, I mean, I think it's too trivial. And you see, it undermines the credibility of the opposition that later you require and support you need to put the government in check. The part of his concerns I identify with Serwaa is with the gold bust some time ago, the one at the some gold bust and some dollars containers you remember February?
Yes.
That thing.
Yeah.
That's one I genuinely identify with those concerns, because I think that we should have an update on that. There was gold, there was dollars, some dollars we saw. We should have an update on that. They cannot just keep quiet.
NDC came to office. Yes, that one that was supposed to be going to Dubai.
Yes, we need to get an update on it, because you see the thing with gold bars and so be a while not could be or no or they are the baby.
Yeah,
you understand. So that's one I think the national security should be minded to address the people on that. But the rest about the plane, that one, Charlie, I think is too is disingenuous, and we should get out of it.
Audu.
Yes. The minister said that the planes came into Ghana for genuine reasons. Have you been told those genuine reasons? Serwaa.
We can play the minister's video for you.
Because he said the planes were here for genuine reasons. Have you been told those genuine reasons?
Yes, he explained it in that
Because I don't know. Because is it a fact? Is it the fact that some cocaine were allegedly seized some few weeks ago in this country? Is it a fact?
The one that National Security announced, the High Cape Coast one?
Yes.
The waters, yes. They put it out.
Did they announce it?
Yeah, they announced it.
So
I think $30 million worth national security.
So there actually has been, in fact,
Please,
when the president
on the high seas. Interrupt Audu. Okay. I don't want problems.
Yeah, I'm asking questions, because I'm not in power. I'm just a mere journalist.
Are we not all here in our capacity as such? Go ahead with your points, please.
Today, you have been so okay.
It's unfair to you.
I am saying that. Look, I do not know if he sits here and say that a plane comes to this country. He says it's a medical plane. It's a medical plane. We are not told. You say if you play the tape, you assist me to comment. We are not told whether he brought some sick people here or he came here to take some sick people out. Are you told? What is the medical plane doing in Ghana?
So I think you're not being fair to Audu, because you know what? The minister yesterday in the video explained everything.
But you know, the video is 3 minutes long. So I will not.
Just tell me what the minister said, because I didn't listen, and you asked me to comment on it. I don't know, because I am saying it because Serwaa said, what's the name? He's saying that this thing is being trivial. The MP is being trivial. This is a ranking member of Defense and Interior. Defense and Interior. He's a ranking member. Two planes come into the country, they leave, and you say that a minister has explained why they are here. Well, I do not know. He is a ranking member. The information that he has, I don't have. If the minister is reacting to him, the minister has said that he's been invited to explain why he's saying that. The man is saying, the MP is saying he's not been invited by any investigative body. And we are here believing the minister because he's a minister. That's fair enough. But I'm saying that things are happening in this country that we have to watch. You may be too early to say that we are criticizing government, but when occurrences are happening, you should be interested in knowing those occurrences. Planes should be landing in Ghana and say they have genuine, is it on transit?
Okay, let me explain. In the spirit of fairness, even though I would have expected you to know the details and know what we are here.
You think that I know everything in this country, and I hear everything, and I read everything?
Felix Kwacho,
because I'm a journalist, I must know everything under this.
He's government spokesperson. He clarified, and producer, please give me 2 minutes to do this, I beg you. So he clarified that the 2 aircraft arrived in Ghana for legitimate purposes and underwent thorough security inspections. Antonov 12 VK. He explained that first aircraft with registration number CVK arrived in Ghana after securing a landing permit. It is a cargo plane. It was originating from Rwanda and Angola, and it was carrying oil drilling equipment and lubricants destined for the European Union market. He said the aircraft required a technical stop in Ghana for a RA3 scanning and screening, a certification which is necessary for entering the EU, which Rwanda lacks. The Swiss cargo facility at Kotoka International Airport is certified to perform that inspection. So that's for aircraft 1. And when the aircraft landed in Ghana, the plane developed an engine blade fault and suffered severe oil leakage. And so it necessitated a replacement aircraft to evacuate the cargo. Does that make sense to you? At least that's the explanation for aircraft 1. Aircraft 2, the Hawker 800 XP. He said that aircraft was operated by AirMed International, which is the second one, if we can have it on the screen. The aircraft landed in Ghana by Tropicana Airlines and it arrived from Gran Canaria, Spain, after passing through Rwanda and Angola. Its purpose for landing in Ghana on March 20 was a technical stop for refueling and crew rest. However, upon landing, the aircraft suffered a tire burst and issues with its landing gear, requiring servicing before it could take off again.
So the two aircraft passed through Rwanda.
Oh, the two, yeah.
Both class.
From Spain, it passed through Rwanda, and then from Rwanda it came to Ghana. It was going back to Spain.
Maybe. And they passed through Rwanda. Is Rwanda the transit point of Ghana?
You know the point that I'm making about this.
Let him finish, please.
See,
10 seconds.
Okay.
here last year to talk about it. This year they are here also to tell us more about it. I'm joined in the studio by Augustine J. He's a stake president for the Accra Ghana Christian Box Stake. Good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning.
And Paula Balake Wellington is the Kaneshi Ward for Kaneshi Stake. And Beatrice Wallace is a young single adult at the Medina Stake, all of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Good morning.
Morning.
Sorry, I made a mistake. Tell me.
I'm the communication director. I'm not a young single adult. So
okay, but you are Beatrice Wallace.
Yeah, I'm Beatrice Wallace.
You are the communications director
for Medina Stake.
For Medina Stake. Yeah. I'm very sorry. You have to forgive me.
Sure.
Okay, but it's your people. Anyway, so let's start with the conference. Last year you were here to talk about it. It's time again, I guess. What do these conferences do? What are they for? I'll start with you, Augustine.
Yes, so conferences are a special time for members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We get to listen to our prophets and our apostles. They convey messages from the scriptures as well as from their personal lives, and these are woven around the gospel of Jesus Christ. They are well experienced in their let's say, foretell and be able to give us uplifting messages concerning how we can live our life in a way that will be pleasing to our Heavenly Father. Down to, maybe, for example, to be a bit more kinder, to be a bit more to others around us, and build a community of hope. So these messages come as a way to comfort us a lot. For example, let me just use this as an opportunity. There is a man in my area of jurisdiction as a leader. He's about 81 years. He has lost his firstborn. Such a person, I'm sure lots of questions will be ringing in his mind. What then is the purpose of life? Wish to rather see your children give you everything. There's a case where it's the other way around. So some of the messages from conference helps us to be able to find comfort. They are able to help us to see the hope in Christ, that he came to this life, he lived a sinless life, he was able to take upon him the sins of all the world. He died and he resurrected, and that is extremely important. For this, my friend, in my area of work, it becomes a way for him to feel comforted that one day, if he should live to see the coming of Christ, perhaps resurrection will pass to his son, he will see his son again.
Right.
So these men and women are able to deliver these messages in a way that is as if it's tailor-made for everyone.
Okay. Mrs. Wellington, I mean, he said that the conferences are special moments for the members of the church. Does that mean that it's only limited to members of the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints?
No, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It is not at all. The love of God is for everyone. And so I am particularly happy for this conference because April General Conference is a time to hear from God. The world is in a confused state, and it's difficult to walk without some form of direction. And so this very conference that is coming up in April, we intend to invite all, irrespective of your present condition, your situation. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that God loves all of us, and we invite all to attend the conference and feel the love, the joy, and happiness in listening to leaders.
Okay. Beatrice, let's talk about the conference now. So it's twice every year. And very shortly we'll display the channels on which people can watch it. But when do they usually happen? And when is this one coming up?
Okay, it's twice every year, like you said. And it's first weekend in April and in October. So this one is the first in the year 2025.
Okay.
And
so this weekend?
Yes, this weekend, 5th on the 6th of this.
That's tomorrow and
yes.
Sunday.
Yes.
Okay.
So we encourage everyone to watch it because it's a message of hope. It will give you the joy that you need if you're able to practice what the leaders tells us. And I want to encourage you, you can invite your friend, any one of you, those that are watching here, that we need to listen to the voice of the prophet to hear the word of the Lord. And when you listen and you apply it, you are going to be blessed. You find more peace in your heart, the joy and the happiness that you need. And even if you have a doubt or have a challenge or difficulty, just listen to them. Because I remember last 2 years, I was having so much challenges in my life. I didn't even know what to do, what direction to go. But after listening to the messages, it really blessed my life. I was guided as to how to go about it. So we invite everyone to join us so they can feel the love of God.
I know that there are virtual channels to join, but since you say that it is not limited to just your church members, can people walk into the church to be a part of it? Augustine?
Yeah, certainly. So with respect to what you just said, the conference will be streamed live. If you have good internet connection, you can join at churchofjesuschrist.org or africawest.churchofjesuschrist.org.
Slowly, please take it again.
You can join at churchofjesuschrist.org/broadcast.
Okay.
That's where you can, if you have very good internet connection.
Or you can just watch on GHOne TV.
You can watch on GHOne
but we'll get into the details of that. I just want to know that before we get into the online schedule, how about, can I walk in? I'm not a member of the church. Can I come to the church and be a part of it?
Yeah, usually conference times are for being with family and watching on TV at home.
Okay.
We do not go to regular church service on those days. So it's reserved for you and your friends. You can be at home, watch on TV. However, I'm very sure there are some local congregations that maybe if some members or other people do not have access to TVs, they can provide TVs at the meeting house.
Okay. However, if you can we have it on the screens now? So tomorrow and Sunday, it will be telecasted live here on GHOne TV. So on Saturday, which is 5th April, there's going to be the morning session.
Exactly.
It's a live broadcast from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And then on Sunday, which is 6th April, there's they'll show the afternoon session for Saturday. It's a rebroadcast from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then music and the spoken word is a live broadcast from 3:30 to 4 p.m. And then Sunday morning session is a live broadcast from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. here on GHOne TV. We're going to put the schedule on our social media pages, by the way, so that in case you miss what we're saying now, you can. But Augustine, you're also saying that they could watch it on, can you go over the link again?
If by any chance you do not have
the GHOne TV broadcast.
Yep, it's also available on radio. Maybe you're on a road trip, you're coming back from home, or you're going away from home. In your car, on your smartphone TV, you can use your radio app to tune into Star FM 103.5 in Accra. If you're in Kumasi, it's on Ultimate FM 106.9. In Takoradi, if you are there, it's on Empire FM 102.7. And then if you're in Bolga, it's on A1 Radio 101.1. We just want everybody to really pay close attention to what these people are saying. Their messages are special, and if you go in with a prayerful heart, with some questions in your heart, I'm very sure you would find an answer to it.
Okay, flowing from that, I mean, she has told us her experience from being a part of the conference. I haven't been a part of it before, but I want to hear your experiences. Maybe I would want to join. She said she didn't know what direction of her life, she was going to take. She was going through so much. How about you, Mrs. Wellington?
Yes, what I normally do during conferences is that best strength is writing. I write down things that are bothering me, and then going to the conference with a heart of prayer. It is really, really amazing how the Lord, it is just like tailored for you, like he said. So I have been blessed by General Conference, and especially this very one that is coming. It is sure. I encourage all our friends to write down things that are bothering you. It's not just enough to attend conferences, but with purpose, that you are going to receive something in return, and that will guide us. And it has been so for me and my family.
Augustine, how about you?
Yes, so let me see how I'll put this. I wrote down the last two lines of a favorite poem of mine from William Ernest Henley. This is Invictus. It says, I'm the master of my fate, I'm the captain of my soul. Each of us has a very peculiar way of maybe taking charge of our own lives. Maybe we do not want to perhaps hear from anybody else. Nobody should tell us what to do or where to go. But the promise is that there are others who have gone on before us, and their lives have been shaped by certain circumstance and happenstance and other very good vicissitudes of life. So with their testimony about the things they've been through and also receiving revelation from Heavenly Father, they're able to give us information, tell us, suggest things that can enhance our lives and reinforce this that yes, you can be the captain of your own soul, but with help from Heavenly Father. We all need that. We all need that help. This conference is special because it sort of precedes Easter, and at Easter we commemorate the resurrection of our Savior Jesus Christ, and that is one event in history that nothing can compare to it.
Right.
To see somebody die and then resurrect, it's almost out of this world. But it is real, and that's what these prophets and apostles are going to teach all about Jesus Christ and his resurrection. And that we have a hope. If you've lost someone before, it will become extremely meaningful, very, very meaningful to you. So the invitation is to everybody all over, not just members of the church. We want everybody to hear and to build some faith. We need a little more faith, each and every one of us. We want to see a bit more light, a bit more hope in our eyes and transfer it to others. It really helps. Yeah.
Beatrice, as communications director, is there any more information that you'd like to add on this general conference before we wrap up the conversation?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. I invite all the people in my community and also the people in the whole world to listen to the prophet. In fact, their testimony is about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You know that our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ gives us hope, direction, and inspiration. So what else do you need than to listen to the prophet? Listen to him to guide your life, to receive inspiration as to the direction to go, and also to be able to bless your life and bless the life of your family and the people around you. So I encourage and invite all the people in Margina and all the people over there to watch the conference for their benefits.
Augustine, you want to add anything? Mrs.
Wellington, we have aside the conference, if you should participate and you feel touched, we have our missionaries who are almost daily roaming around. They want to find people who have these questions in their hearts, who want to know where we came from.
Are they the ones who wear the white shirts?
Yes, they are the ones who wear the white shirt with the tag and their names on it and the name of the church. You can stop them. They are very friendly. They are there to answer some of these questions, help you to learn more about Christ, not to solicit for church membership. That's not what they are there for. They want to be genuine friends first and be able to help you understand our purpose in life. If you feel so interested, then the way is there for you to unite with the fold.
What if I join the conference or I'm watching now and I want to be a part of the church? How do I become a member of the church? Mrs. Wellington.
We will invite the missionaries to meet you. And that's what they are here for. Theirs is to meet
But
people.
your missionaries, I always see white people. Are there black people?
They are black people. They are Nigerians here. People from Togo. They are everywhere. So we can connect you to the missionaries. Like today, we can take your address, give to them. To be easy. And then we will have a discussion with them on the gospel of Jesus Christ. How it will change our lives. And then how we'll be happy on earth.
And then you take it from there. From there, you come to the church. Augustine, is that how it works?
You can begin to come to the church, keep on asking questions, keep searching.
Can you come to the church without meeting the missionaries?
Certainly. You can. We have many people walking on our signpost.
Is it your church, the one next to the MTN building?
That is like the
headquarters
in Accra, sort of. But everywhere we have our signage that says "Visitors Welcome."
Right.
So anybody can walk in. We are trying to be very friendly people, just to have a.
You're trying, or you are friendly.
We are friendly people.
Okay.
Yes.
But just to make sure we are doing it out of genuine love and concern, not some kind of stereotype behavior, because it will look like as if we're trying to solicit members. But we are doing our best to become like Jesus Christ and to follow his teachings. Okay. So that's why. Yeah.
You want to add anything?
Yeah, I think you can also walk to any of the church premises to also talk to anyone you find around that you want to become or you want to know more about the church, and they will direct you or they will link you up to who can help you. So as he said, we are friendly, we are nice. In fact, we will be happy to have you to teach you or to let you know more about the church. So that is what we are here. So we encourage everyone to listen and get in touch.
Okay, I'd like to go over the broadcast channel and time here on GHOne TV again, and then I'll tell you the other channels that it will be broadcasted on to. So on GHOne TV, it's a 2-day program, tomorrow and Sunday. If we can have it quickly. So tomorrow 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. is a live broadcast of Saturday's show, Saturday's event or program. Danny, can I have it, please? Yes, so on Saturday, we will be broadcasting the Saturday morning session. And I guess it's because it's being done in a different country. That's why it's a morning session, right? Time. Okay. Yeah. So it's from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. and it's a live broadcast. Gives you enough time to settle in and, join with your family. And then on Sunday, there's going to be a rebroadcast from 10 a.m. to 12. So it means if you missed Saturdays, you can watch on Sunday in the morning, 10 o'clock, right? And then there's music and the spoken word, which is from 3:30 to 4 p.m. And then Sunday morning session, which is also a live broadcast. And it's from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. I don't want to be, protect the other stations that will be showing it, but I know that it will be airing on other stations as well because I saw it on there. So where else can they watch it apart from GHOne TV? I think it will be showing on UTV as well, or
it's rather on Metro TV.
On Metro TV,
yeah, you can get that on DSTV channel 277.
Okay, all right. So it will be broadcasted on Metro TV at the same time.
Yes, at the same time.
Okay, but of course you should watch it on GHOne TV. Sure. Thank you so much for coming. Augustine J is a stake president for the Accra Ghana Christian Box Stake, and Beatrice Wallace is a communications director for the Medina Stake. I'm very sorry about the earlier one. And Paula Balake Wellington is a Kaneshi ward at the Kaneshi Stake. Is there anything that I've missed, left out, that you want to say quickly before we go?
Just an invite. We invite all to attend to show our love for everyone.
Right. Thank you very much, Mrs. Wellington.
Thank you.
Augustine, you want to say something?
I think yes.
She said everything. Yes, Thank you all so much for coming. And I wish you the very best this weekend with your general conference. I will tune in. I'll be a part of it. Thank you. Stay with me. After the break, there's more. So the show, this is GH Today. I am Serwaa. It's time for Lifestyle. Right, this morning I have a gospel artist here with me, Selassie Brown. Good morning. How are you?
Well, thanks for having me.
Great. Is that your new song?
Yes.
What's the title?
Hallelujah. It's from my an album I just released, My Compensation.
Okay, the album is called Compensation.
My Compensation.
My Compensation. Why?
Well,
why My Compensation?
I know for a fact that everybody deserves a compensation in life for everything that you've had to go through. You should get some reward for what it is that you have endured. So yes, my compensation is to encourage everybody else that God is the rewarder of those who seek Him.
Is this your first album?
Yes, this is my first album.
How long have you been singing?
A little over 5 years.
Professionally?
Yes.
5 years?
Yes.
But you have other songs out there?
Yes.
Okay. How has the job been singing, gospel artist?
It's been good. I'd say that it's been really good. God has been good.
Yeah? You've been making money?
I'll be making money soon.
You will be?
Sure.
But you like the gospel industry, music industry?
I find it more purposeful to also be a part of someone's inspiration, you know. Doing what I do is more like a pastor doing that through lyrics and rhythm, so I can inspire another person to be a better person, for want of a better word.
Okay, what of the support? Because I'm sure there are a few people who still do not know you. Do you think that you're being supported enough? I
think it can get better.
You think it can get better? Which people do you expect the support from? Ghanaians or your colleagues?
Everybody.
But how about your colleagues? Have they been supported?
Yes, yes, but Oliver Twist can only ask for more. So I could only pray that going forward it can get better with the amount of support or attention I get.
Okay, but when it comes to your colleagues, have you had any collaborations?
Yes, I've had. On the album, I've had I have 4 collaborations. Akese Brimpong is on the album. Kobe Salm is on the album. Tishan Rula is on the album, and one international act, Ima Onyx from Nigeria, on the album. So yes, I've had some great collaborations.
Who is your favorite gospel musician apart from yourself?
I don't have a person
in Ghana here.
I could name a few.
Okay.
I really could name a few.
Yeah, please name them.
Just so that I'm not overwhelmed with name mentioning, let's say that I think that everybody has a thing or two you can take away from. You can draw inspiration from them. So if I'm skewed towards a person, it's so unfair. It's a broad...
No, so you can name them. Name the people that you like.
I love Cece Chum. I love Ohima Messi. I love Mama Esther. I think that she's not been giving so much love. She's been an amazing woman, Reverend Joe Beecham. There's countless names, really.
What do you think of the conversation or the argument that gospel artists shouldn't look a certain way? You look very beautiful, by the way.
You also, you look beautiful all the time. How do you do it?
Thank you, but I'm not the focus. You know, and I'm sure that you've heard this conversation that gospel artists should look a certain way. Don't dress too much. Don't look too much. You know, be very minimalistic in the way that you look, just so that you can preach the gospel better. What's your take on that?
I think that gospel in itself and the world has evolved. So much has changed. Even in the Bible, back in the day, if you read to the detail of how Esther was groomed, she wore makeup, she had anklets, even Jesus's mother was wearing anklets and all these things. In today's gospel, there's a perception that's been formed around the gospel musician that you should, like you said, you should be very minimalistic in your dressing. I think that it goes beyond that. You have to look a part of what you do. He's not a tattered God. So if you are serving a God, you should look a part, like how he looks like, to represent him fully.
But they say that when you people dress like that, it's distractive. Do you agree?
There could be some distractions with that, especially when you are. Sometimes I am a busty person, and sometimes you would want to really be covered up, but there's a flesh or two that is showing somewhere, and it's not that you are going out of your house and with the intention that you're going to be doing that. It just sometimes, mishaps happen, and you cannot really curtail all of those. However, I think that gospel musicians are doing well with looking good, and I think that they should give us some grace while we do that. I really think they should give us some grace.
Okay, I want to ask you about some controversy that's happening currently as well. Well, I say it's controversial because there's a lot of divided opinions about it. In Nigeria, for instance, there's a conversation about whether gospel artists should be paid when they come to minister in a church. And I know here in Ghana, because in my church, at Power of Worship, every day there are different, at least every week we have different artists coming through to worship with us and sing for us. Do you think that pastors and churches should pay you guys when you come to sing in church?
I think that it's not a thing we should ask for, but however, I think it's fair. Bible says that if we bless you,
you haven't answered the question. Should you be paid?
It's going to be a yes or no thing.
Do you sing in church?
Yes, I do.
Do you get paid for it?
I do not get paid in my church.
Not in your church. You minister at other churches.
However, if I go and they give me, I take it.
And if they don't give you?
That's okay.
Are you sure?
That's okay. But I wish they could do better, really. Because at the end of the day, you need money to fund what you do. There's just a lot that goes into music. You cannot go to the studio and pray in tongues to pay the studio sessions that you have done. So you have to, and you have a lot of other things. You have to keep up with your outfit and all that stuff.
So you expect them to pay?
Not exactly. Here's why I'm saying that. If the money came, that's good, because when you see God first, He makes provisions for you. So in your quest of seeking God, money comes in certain ways you do not understand. But the focus is not the money, really. The focus is about sharing the love of God or the word of God through your music. So when the money comes along, it's all well and good.
So if I had a church and I consistently called you at least once every month to come and sing, but I gave you nothing, would you still be coming?
Oh, you are very kind. I know that you definitely...
You haven't answered my question. Would you still come?
I would definitely come. And I know that you are. It's just courteous.
You don't know me. I'm asking because...
It's just courteous to be nice.
To be nice in what way?
That somebody comes to you all the time. Every so often you should just know that that's the right thing to do.
So why don't you just say that, pay me for coming to sing? Why can't you say it?
I think I would not say that because the gift of God is for free.
Okay.
However, you should know that I'm sharing the love of God with you, and it's not out of place if you give me your carnal gifts, as you know.
Should you be paid?
I'm trying to deflect.
But what's wrong with it if you get paid, though? Does it make you worldly, or because I really don't understand the difficulty in answering that question. And it's not just you. A lot of your colleagues do the same so like you're doing. They can't get, because do you think that it makes you worldly?
No, I don't
say explicitly that, yes, even though it's a gift from God, it's my craft now. And like you said, you invest a lot. You've done nice makeup, nice hair, nice clothes. They don't fall from the sky. Yeah. You need money to fund it. So if I come to your church, you should pay me or give me something.
I think that Ghana is not moved away from that colloquial mindset, if for want of a better word, of what church and church business is.
Right.
And so maybe in time we'll come to the understanding there's a whole business aspect to what we do, and we're now struggling with the idea. So maybe in time we could marry the two and say that if these people come around, they are worthy of such and such. So
okay, I'll move on. I'll move on from this topic, but let's talk about your new song. Hallelujah from your album My Compensation. Okay, why Hallelujah? What's the inspiration behind
Hallelujah
that song?
is a praise song. You know, when God does something good for you, you don't actually even have to wait for a good thing to happen.
Always praise.
Exactly. We thank God regardless, in spite of what it is. So hallelujah is just to say, God, we thank you. In spite of where we are, we're so grateful.
Okay. When did you release this?
14th of March this year.
That's not too long ago. How's it doing on the market?
It's been great.
It's been great.
So
Let's take a listen to Hallelujah by Selassie Brown.
Yes.
Why? Couldn't you have done both at the same time?
I could have, but I think that there's a way passion has a way it sweeps your feet, and you're so immersed into your passion. So yes.
Do you miss your banking career? No?
I'm not sure I do.
Why?
I'm not sure I do. I miss my friends or my acquaintances I had over there. I think that I'm enjoying what I do now, and I've not had time to really
think about all the time that you had there. Yes. I see. So what does the future look for you? What does it look like?
It looks great by God's grace.
What are your plans? Your long, short term, medium term?
Okay, so the short term for this time is to promote this album, and
My Compensation.
Yes, My Compensation album, and I'm really looking forward to other great things. I would not be able to share all of them right now, but I hope that everybody else keeps me in your thoughts and in your prayers, because we need it for the journey.
Right. I wish you the very best. How can people stream your music?
Okay.
How do they follow you?
Okay, so thank you very much, first of all, for joining. I'm so grateful that you make time to take a watch or listen. I'm grateful. So if you want to follow me, I'm available on all social platforms. Selassie Brown, SELASSIE Brown official on all platforms, including YouTube. And my album is available on all platforms. Everywhere there's song streaming, there's my composition available there.
All right. Thank you so much, Selassie.
Thank you for having me.
We have to go now, but I always have to do some birthday messages, right?
Okay.
So I want to do them with you because I love the way that you speak, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Let's have the birthday. And thank you for coming on the show. I'm grateful. Sorry?
I'm learning to be a presenter.
Are you? Okay, thank you so much for watching the show. It's been an amazing week. God willing, we'll meet back here on Monday, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. as always. But I'll be back here at 11:30 for the midday news. Thank you for watching. And next week, I'm inviting the Nchin Band to join me on the show. Let's have a good show, and let's sing. You should come next week, and come and sing.